Newman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
8:37 on the Morning Majority. Brian Wilson, Brian Newman, Mary Catherine Ham here. Talking to Andrew McCarthy, contributing editor at National Review and former assistant U.S. attorney. He's been involved in some of these terrorism cases. How's it going, Andrew? Oh, Andrew.
Ooh, we lost him. We'll get him back.
Yeah.
Hang it up. We'll get him back.
Well, I'm going to ask him about this Taliban issue. So, the president pondering releasing a couple of Gitmo internees who are in the Taliban, ostensibly as a way to entice the Taliban in Afghanistan to sit down and negotiate in Afghanistan, which, in talking to KT McFarland, one of our other great contributors, mostly a ruse to say, give us a fig leaf to get out of Afghanistan without having fixed the problem. So now we're just giving up folks from Gitmo to get to that point? It seems like if you want fake-ish negotiating, you should be able to get that without giving up Gitmo detainees.
I would think so. I would hope so. And I would hope that these guys that we would be giving up, if we are going to give them up, aren't very dangerous. But from what everyone says, they actually are kind of dangerous, and they're actually kind of radicals, and they have a good way of getting support and help from other people down the line. So it doesn't seem like it would be a wise move, but we'll see if it goes down that way. The other big news also, obviously, is what we've been talking about all morning, these recess appointments that the president did yesterday.
Andrew's back with us.
We got him on the line. Andrew McCarthy. Good morning, Andrew. You there?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Okay, we can hear you now. Well, let's start off with Mary Catherine was going to say the Taliban and this report out there that the administration is thinking about releasing Taliban leaders that we're holding right now at Gitmo just for the chance at peace to sit down and talk with some kind of organization that would be formed and would be based out of Qatar.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There really is not any upside in it other than further violating the longstanding American rule that Obama's already violated a number of times, that we don't negotiate with terrorists. Now we're releasing terrorists who the military and the intelligence people who've assessed them over the years at Guantanamo Bay say we have to hold them because if we release them, they're going to go back to the jihad and kill Americans. We're going to hold them, we're going to release them on a wish and a prayer that maybe, please, the Taliban will come to the table and talk to us.
And who are these guys? Do we know exactly what Talibanis we would be releasing, and how bad are they?
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I mean, there's one guy, for example, most of them have been, I think, the five who were on the table. Tom Jocelyn's done some great work, I think, at the Weekly Standard, laying out exactly what we know about them. But one, for example, was basically the Army Chief of Staff in the Taliban, probably the second or third ranking member, somebody who was high up enough that he actually was able to threaten Mullah Omar at one point, the top of the Taliban, for not being militant enough. And he's also a war criminal wanted by the United Nations for involvement in the slaughter of thousands of Shiites. So this is the kind of characters we're dealing with.
And what is the likelihood of this actually happening?
I'd say it's a very high.
Really?
There's not really anything that Congress can do to prevent Obama from releasing people from Gitmo. They can stop him from releasing people from Gitmo in order to transfer them into the United States for purposes of having trials, because they need to appropriate money for that. But if it's just a question of repatriating them, the president has really plenary power as far as international relations are concerned, and the control of enemy combatants. So we can make a lot of noise. We can try to discourage him. He has in the past been shown to be at least sensitive to that kind of political pressure. If that were not the case, we'd already have had a civilian trial of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in Manhattan. So we can rant and rave about it, and hopefully, in an election year, he'll think twice about it. But I think there's a very strong chance that this will happen.
All right, new topic, and it's one I'm sure you have a strong opinion about. It has to do with the president's decision yesterday to make 4 recess appointments when Congress was not in recess. What do you think about that? Is it constitutionally legal for him to do this?
Well, I think it's on the border of constitutionality. I don't think it's constitutional because I think the Senate is, as a matter of constitutional law, empowered to determine its own rules, including whether it's in session or not. And the Senate continues to consider itself in session. I think in some ways the technical constitutional argument, while it's important, it kind of undersells how truly outrageous this is. I mean, statutorily, the guy who got appointed to the Consumer Protection Board has to be confirmed by the Senate. That's what it explicitly says in the statute. So a recess appointment won't do it.
Right.
And with respect to the guys, the three appointments that he made to try to stuff the National Labor Relations Board, those names were only submitted to Congress on December 15th. So it's not like he can even have a fig leaf of pretending that he's trying to get around an unreasonable filibuster or anything like that. He never gave the American people's representatives any chance to vet these people, and it's obviously because he's trying to run an imperial administrative state and govern around Congress, which is about as dangerous as anything that you can have in our system of government.
Well, I agree, but how is there a remedy?
Yeah, the Congress has the power of the purse. Obama wants a lot of things done. He wants a lot of people appointed. Nobody can be appointed once Congress is unquestionably in session unless the Senate can muster 60 votes for it. And he can't get a thing unless the House is willing to pay for it. And that means raise the money for it and spend it.
Is there a legal remedy? Can they challenge this decision?
Well, I would imagine what could happen is they could go into court and, for example, any American who was affected by the decisions of a board that was at least arguably legally tainted could claim that those actions were invalid. But the problem with that is, as we all know, that kind of civil litigation can take years, and Obama knows that. So obviously, he's using that part of the system, its inertia, essentially, against it.
All right, Andrew McCarthy, National Review contributing editor. Thanks for being with us.